Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining the Community Ledger. Again, my name is Andrea Banu, and today we are going to jump into the gift that keeps on giving, the Democratic Party. No matter what day of the week, no matter what time of the day, they can't seem to stop crashing out. And we're going to talk about it. So let's go ahead and start the show. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So we are definitely going to drag the Democratic Party again because we can't help it. Okay. We can't help it. And they just keep on giving us material. They keep giving us reasons to drag them through these streets. And so we're going to go ahead and keep talking about it. So once they decide that they want to be a viable party and, bring some opposition to what's happening in the White House right now, we don't have nothing to do but just drag them on craziness. And so I want to go ahead and do a recap of all of what has been going on this week. We did see Fox, of course, drag them like they usually do in regards to their behavior during that speech that Trump gave. During all of those positive moments, they still ignored him. They still played on their phone. They still turned, the side or gave the side eye with regards to everything, which showed a lot of, I would say, immaturity. And so it was incredibly disappointing. As I've spoken before, I used to be a Democrat. Right now, I don't have any sort of party affiliation, but I am just reviewing everything, and it's not looking good. It's really not looking good for the Democrats because they cannot seem to get it together. And it's a sight to see. It's like, you're just watching a wreck. You're driving by a car crash and you just can't help but just be like, what the hell is going on? But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it so we can see what Fox said about him. And then also they are imploding from within. John Fetterman, the senator of Pennsylvania, is saying, listen, y'all got to stop this. This is getting crazy because it's creating division within the party and it's not actually benefiting us. It's not resonating with the people. So we are really in a bad spot. So we're going to get into that as well. So let's go ahead and play this.
Critics pouncing on Democrats for a week of muddled messaging. That included several moments that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Mike Emanuel's got to look at that live in D.C. What happened, Mike? Hello.
Bill, good morning. There are a number of examples of why critics suggest it's been a rough week for Democrats. For one, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries explaining why his members didn't support blocking transgender athletes.
What the Democrats opposed was unleashing sexual predators on girls throughout the United States of America.
Then there was President Trump's joint address where Democrats were determined they would not cheer anything. That included a young man whose late father, a veteran and police officer, had inspired him to serve. President Trump announced he would achieve his dream attending West Point, a touching moment. They also didn't cheer the 13-year-old boy with brain cancer who has always wanted to be a police officer, and the president announced he would be an honorary Secret Service agent.
I don't know why we can't fully celebrate. I have a 13-year-old myself, and thank God she's never had cancer, but I think that's something we could all celebrate that. And I think it was a touching moment. And like I said, that's part of the best of the American experience.
There you have it. You see that they're imploding from within. Even members of their own party, John Fetterman, Gavin Newsom, are opposing what is happening. Gavin Newsom just had that interview on his podcast with Charlie Kirk, where he is saying that he's not in support of biological men in women's sports. And he really did get dragged for it because, he is coming straight out of California and hell, Kamala is was representing California, and she was pro all of that. And so for Gavin to come out, on his podcast and say he doesn't support that, It's looking bad for him. It's looking bad for him. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article so you can get exactly what, or hear exactly what happened with regards to Gavin Newsom. It says California's Gavin Newsom opposes trans athletes in women's sports, splitting with progressives. And I just spoke about that. I just did an interview about this new anti-trans agenda where, it's not necessarily people going after trans and wanting to cause them harm and things of that nature, but it is opposing, pushing this on children, changing the bathrooms, allowing them in sports, things of that nature, because, the majority of Americans do not support that mindset. And so here you have Gavin Newsom, who is pretty much stating the exact same thing that, publicly in the past, he may have supported these things, but when he was confronted on his own podcast, he said he's not in support of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and read. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a potential 2028 Democratic presidential candidate, used the inaugural episode of his new podcast to break from progressives by speaking out against allowing transgender women and girls to compete in female sports. Newsom made his declaration in an extended conversation with conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old who built the influential Turning Point USA organization that helped President Donald Trump increase his support last fall among the youngest generation of voters. Kirk, like Trump, has become a vocal opponent of allowing transgender women and girls to participate. I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness. It's deeply unfair, Newsom told Kirk on This Is Gavin Newsom. I am not wrestling with the fairness issue, continued Newsom, who played varsity baseball as a college student. I totally agree with you. I revere sports. So the issue of fairness is completely legit. The governor's comments are the latest in Democrats' effort to reconcile a 2024 election that returned Trump to the White House and gave Republicans control of both chambers of Congress. Among the disagreements since November is how much cultural issues as opposed to economic policy and other matters explain the party's losses. Overall, polling suggests that allowing transgender female athletes to play on women's teams isn't broadly popular. Even most Democrats, around 7 in 10, oppose allowing transgender female athletes to participate in women's sports, according to a January New York Times poll. A 2023 Gallup poll also found that Democrats were divided on whether transgender people should be able to play on sports teams that match their current gender identity. Newsom, who has long positioned himself as a social progressive, drew sharp rebukes from LGBTQ+ advocates. Sometimes Gavin Newsom goes for the profile in courage, sometimes not, said California Assemblyman Chris Ward and State Senator Carolyn Menhuvar, who led the state's LGBTQ+ legislative caucus. We woke up profoundly sickened and frustrated by these remarks. He's pissing off his base. Tony Hong, executive director of Equality California, said he was disappointed and angered by Newsom's statements and that they added to the heartbreak and fear the transgender community feels under the Trump administration. That's the one thing I'm not understanding. What is the fear? Like, I don't understand. Just because people do not support biological males in women's sports, how is that fearful? Like, how is that impeding some sort of harm on transgenders? I don't understand how you have a group of people, Americans, who don't necessarily agree with your point of view and agree with your lifestyle, but don't necessarily want it imposed onto their lifestyle, has somehow a threat to your existence. That's not a threat to your existence. You can still do you over there. Nobody's going to harm you because you are transgender. And so to me, that's just, pandering. That's just being extra dramatic in regards to what can happen if these rights are taken away. But at the same time, you have to respect women's rights. Biological women are biological women and they have rights too. So something's got to give. And the transgender males, transgender women, however they're labeled, I'll just call them biological men, are a very small demographic. Biological men trying to compete in women's sports is a very small demographic. So we cannot make all of these contingencies for a very small demographic and completely ignore real women, okay, let alone their safety. And so I'll continue. Heartbreak added that the heartbreak and fear the transgender community feels under the Trump administration. Right now, transgender youth, their families, their doctors, and their teachers are facing unprecedented attacks from extremist politicians who want to eviscerate their civil rights and erase them from public life. Nobody's trying to erase you from public life. Nobody's trying to erase your existence. Nobody is saying die, okay? Expunge you from all of civilization. That's not what's being said, okay? Stop it. What's being said is do you, but I should not have to have whatever you got going on impeding on my quality of life. Okay. That's what it's saying. Whatever you choose to do with your body, great. However, it should not be forced upon my life. And that is the issue. These transgenders want all of these rights and all of these things, but it infringes on everybody else's rights and safety. And that's where it becomes a problem. And that's why you have so many people going against it. Right now, transgender youth, their families, their doctors, and their teachers are facing unprecedented attacks from extremist politicians who want to eviscerate their civil rights and erase them from public life. Now, they didn't say extremists who are trying to cause them physical harm, but extremist politicians who are trying to eviscerate their civil rights. Again, these are not physical attacks. Holmes said they need leaders who will unequivocally fight for them. California law enacted before Newsom became governor requires schools in the state to allow transgender athletes to play on school sports teams consistent with their gender identity. Republican state lawmakers introduced bills in the legislature this year to ban that practice, but they would be difficult to pass in the Democratic-dominated state house. The governor's office declined to comment on the proposal, saying Newsom doesn't typically weigh in on pending legislation. Beyond questions about athletics, there is less public support for broader restrictions on transgender rights and issues like medical care for transgender people, particularly among Democrats. According to AP Votecast, 55% of voters in the 2024 election said support for transgender rights in government and society has gone too far. 55%. That is the majority, has gone too far. Voters were also slightly more likely to oppose than favor laws that ban gender-affirming medical treatments, such as puberty blockers and hormone therapy for minors who identify as transgender. But Republicans have nonetheless sought to capitalize on the cultural touchstone that sports represent in America. Trump regularly hammered Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala Harris, Newsom's fellow Californian, for supporting LGBTQ plus rights. Trump promised at his rallies to get transgender insanity the hell out of our schools and keep men out of women's sports. His campaign also spent tens of millions of dollars on television and digital ads with the searing summation: Kamala is for them, they, President Trump is for you. Boy, did I see how you guys were able to weaponize it, Newsom told Kirk before yielding to Kirk's protest and saying instead that the ads were an effective highlight during the campaign. Since taking office, get rid of this. Okay. Since taking office, Trump has threatened to withhold federal money from schools that allow transgender athletes to compete in women's or girls' events. He declared victory on the issue recently when the NCAA, which governs collegiate athletics in the U.S., changed its policy to restrict women's sporting events to those athletes who were assigned the female gender at birth. Previously, the NCAA had a sport-by-sport policy determined by the respective sports national or international governing bodies. And so it goes on and on and on with regards to what is happening in the state of California and nationally with this whole transgender stuff. The truth of the matter is most people don't want it. Most people do not agree that biological males should be able to compete against women in any facet. It's just not, for me, it's not logical. I think for most Americans, it's not logical and it's not safe. Okay, I am a natural born woman. My husband is a natural born man, and I could not imagine being in a fist fight with him. No, that's not gonna work. Like, so if we were athletes and we were boxing, that is insane. Like, I don't give a damn what he took to put more estrogen or puberty blockers or whatever the hell is in his system. Ain't no way, no how. This man is 6'2", has been over 230 pounds, and go and punch me in the face. Are you serious? Hell no. So you're not going to convince me by any stretch of the imagination that a biological male can take anything, okay, and not make him strong enough to break my jaw. Like, you're just not going to convince me of that. And there's no way in hell I'm going to allow my daughter to be in a sport and have a man, a natural born man, playing her. I'm not going to allow my son to compete against girls. It's just not, it's not cool. I have children. I have a son and a daughter. My son will play with his sister and it's too rough. And I'm like, yo, you strong. You are like 6 years old, but listen, you giving like grown man energy and strength. I'm gonna need you to bring it down a notch. So I couldn't even imagine when you are past puberty, you are at 18 years old, 17, 19, 20, and you are literally like in your prime trying to compete and fight and play volleyball and throw a ball and do whatever this sport requires with a biological woman. That is insane. And the truth of the matter is, most Americans agree. Okay. And so for those who may be watching who are transgender, this is not some sort of indictment on your existence. Nobody's saying that you should just no longer be on planet Earth. Nobody's saying that we want to physically harm you, physically cause harm to your body. We're just saying that, listen, if you want to do this, you can do this, but you need to maybe have a sport, a league where you're competing with those who are like you. Okay, so because you guys have all had these, these surgeries, and you've had these puberty blockers and these hormone things going on, compete against each other, but you should not be competing against natural born women, period. And I don't even agree with transgender males or biological women who have now transitioned into being male, competing against biological men. I could not imagine a natural born woman in a boxing ring with Mayweather. I could not imagine a natural born woman in a boxing ring with Tyson. Like, that is insane. Like, these people, like, are you serious? Like Mike Tyson, okay? Mike Tyson, when he would fight, he would state that his entire mission was to just imagine his fists going through his opponent's head, the back of his head. And that's how hard he was trying to punch his opponent. Could you imagine a man, a natural born man, putting that level of strength in his fist to punch a natural born woman? That is crazy. And you're not going to convince me ever that that is safe. And so, like I said, if you are watching this and you are transgender and you are offended, I do apologize. But the truth of the matter is, biology is biology, and physiology is physiology. And these things are real, whether you want to acknowledge them or not. Okay. Men are stronger, physically stronger, period. You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole reason you have men competing with men, and women competing with natural born women. And we've been doing that since the beginning of time. So I'm sorry, I'm sorry that it's compromising for you to hear, but it is what it is. Now, setting all of that aside, getting back to the Democratic Party and all of its shenanigans, I want to get into your girl, Jasmine Crockett. She's been cutting the fool yet again. And it's seeming like the public's not here for it. I don't know what happened or who she was speaking to, and they all kind of galvanized and was like, listen, we need to get Black people back on this plantation. And so they tried it with, I can't even remember the politician's name. What is her name? It escapes me at the moment. But she put out that reparations, the HR 40, where she was like, oh my goodness, oh my God, I'm so emotional. Oh my God, the Black History Month, I'm going to go ahead and continue the legacy of Miss Sheila Jackson and put out this reparations bill because it's so honorable and so touching and so much bullshit. Like, for real. We all know that it don't mean a damn thing. It's a study that y'all been doing for 30 years. It represents and will bring about nothing, nada, nothing. And we know that it's a big ass nothing sandwich. Okay. And so they were like, okay, that didn't work. We said we was going to do some reparations, but they're onto us. They know that this HR 40 ain't shit. So we can't tell them that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get Jasmine Crockett, and we're going to get her to like start, you know, talking real crazy, like she on Love and Hip Hop or like she's on, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she's just going to give us Ratchet. And that's going to get, you know, them back to the polls. That it sounds crazy, but that had to be the conversation, because all of a sudden, Jasmine Crockett is coming out here tripping. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play clips. Tariq Nasheed spoke on it the other day. So there are multiple people, especially on the grassroots level, especially on YouTube and TikTok and X, who are like, what the hell is going on with Jasmine Crockett? Everybody's seeing it, and everybody sees how unnatural and crazy it looks. So let me go ahead and play it.
If you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight.
I just posted a video last night. This is the interview where she literally had this lady on the side with a drink, right? She took the drink from the lady, took a swig, gave it back to her, and then started going off. And that's what I was talking about. This clip right here. Like, where in God's name have you ever seen a politician, an elected official, standing there, take a sip of some drink? I don't know if it was alcohol or not, but it looked crazy. And then just start cursing. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
What would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
And also, she's really going out here defending a very unpopular administration. The Democrats, they're very unpopular right now, and their issues are unpopular, and she's running out here trying to protect and defend that, and it's not a good look.
At all.
Especially with black folks. We ain't trying to hear none of that shit.
Mm-mm.
And her social media strategy is forced. You know, she's trying too hard to go.
Like, what is that? What is that? Did you just see this video? Let me play this over again. Like, what is this? What is this whole...
Especially with black folks. We ain't...
Look at this at the desk, my two girls. Yes, girl, boop. Yeah, we doing it. Like, huh? What is that? What is that?
Hear none of that shit. And her social media strategy is forced.
How? I mean, like, what is that the package you given the black community? Like, that is insulting. Like, just so you know, Democrats, that is highly insulting. Like, where on what planet would you convince yourselves that we want our elected officials to be ghettoing and sister girling it up? No. We here for business. We want to hear about what's really going down. We don't need all this extra boo woo. That's cute for reality TV. Reality TV is entertainment. Okay, that's supposed to be entertainment. When you're on Capitol Hill and you're passing laws and we're talking about things that gonna affect our everyday lives, it's all business, baby. Okay, all that extra woo woo ratchet. No. We can't mix the two. We can't mix entertainment with policy. Okay. Yes, Donald Trump was a reality TV star and a billionaire before all of this, but now that he in office, it's business. It's business, baby. Okay, so we're not gonna mix the two. We can't be, I'm gonna be a politician, Jasmine Crockett, for reparations. Boop, y'all not gonna get this money. Oop, take me a swig here. Oop, I got my two girls by my desk. Yes. Oop, I'm trying to get the black vote. Don't y'all understand this is what it is? Aren't I resonating with all y'all? No, you're not. You look like a damn clown. You look like a fool, and we all see through it, and we looking at you crazy. And it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful for you to even think that would somehow resonate with us, and that somehow we would like be on your side and galvanize around what she talking about because she giving us straight ghetto. No, it's just as disrespectful as Obama coming out and wagging his finger at men for not voting for Kamala. It's just as disrespectful as Kamala coming out with that black man plan and putting in there that, oh, I'm gonna legalize weed. For real? That's supposed to like do something for us? Oh, okay. You come out here and insult us by saying you're gonna legalize weed, and that's supposed to resonate with us. You see how that worked, right? You see how that worked for him, right? You see how that worked? So Jasmine Crockett, read the room. Whatever you selling, baby, ain't nobody buying.
Yeah, no, she's trying too hard to go viral. Yeah, it's
So funny.
cringy because it's performative sass, and she's out here promoting more immigration. So you're not really reading the room. And also, to be very honest, that whole strong, sassy black woman trope, that shit is being overplayed. Yeah, that lost its muster. See, this is why the DNC, they're about a decade behind. They think, okay, let's push out that strong black woman, sister girl shit, and everybody's going to fall for it and fall in line. So they get Jasmine out here to be the sassy, no nonsense black woman to excite the base. And people are tired of that shit. Because, okay, strong black women didn't run around sassing all day. They did something for the family. They provided for the family. They sacrificed for the family. They fed the family. They advocated for the family. That's where the strength was. The strength wasn't you running around being loud, sassy, with big goddamn caterpillar eyelashes and flipping bundles all day.
So you hear Tariq Nasheed, strong black woman is taking care of the family, taking care of home, taking care of your community, not caterpillar eyelashes and bundles all day. However, Miss Jasmine Crockett has already stated that she is not married and does not have a boyfriend, as it's never been proposed to. So she doesn't have a man in her life. I don't know if she has any kids. So if she doesn't have any kids, then she not representing or stomping for family, let alone the black family. So who are you out here representing? Who are you trying to appeal to? I don't get it. And I 100% agree with them. Like, that is not a strong black woman. Like, that's buffoonery. That's craziness. Like, to me, where she is right now is like 2 steps away from us seeing a picture of her on Instagram bent over. Like, she's right on the cusp of posing. Hey, girl, with the camera in the back and you looking back bent over. Like, she's right on the cusp of that as an elected official. That's how wretched it's getting. That's how low the Democratic Party has sunken. Okay. Okay. They got Jasmine Crockett out here perpetuating all kind of ignorant ass stereotypes and just making a fool of herself. You got Gavin Newsom, who's walking back all his party's transgender opinions and stands. He like, quietly, I don't agree with that shit. You got Fetterman that's like, listen, y'all out here acting crazy, refusing to applaud for good things that Trump is doing. Even Trump said it himself. He was like, I can literally come up with the cure for cancer. I can come up with the cure for the world's most deadliest disease, and y'all still wouldn't support me. And that is crazy. That is crazy. And so what I would love is for you to go ahead and press that subscribe button, but I would also like for you to get in those comments and tell me where you think the Democratic Party is going to go from here, because it is looking bad. Okay. It's looking real bad. I don't know. Right now, we only got one party. You only got the Republicans. Independents don't have nobody. They only got Jill Stein, and Democrats don't have nobody. So right now, I don't know what's going to happen in these midterms, because ain't nobody. And it's crazy. Like, we don't even have no options. So right now, I understand how so many people sat home, because it's like, they're not even giving you no options. So please get in the comments. Tell me your opinion. Tell me what you think the path and the future is for the Democratic Party. And if you are a Democrat, I mean, what are your suggestions? And if you're not a Democrat and you have recently run away and removed yourself like I have, What is your opinion on what you are seeing, specifically with regards to them to try to bring you back in, draw you back in by, you know, the craziness that these politicians are showing, and is Miss Jasmine Crockett's antics enticing you? Are they working? I would like to know. So again, thank you so much for being for joining me. And again, this is the Community Ledger. If you have not already, please do like, share, and subscribe. And this is the Community Ledger. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and watch the next video by clicking right here.